Hey everybody, welcome back to the JNL Chronicles.
Hi. Well, today we're talking about a 30-year mystery of Garfield phones washing up on one French beach that was finally solved. It's been solved.
Why would Garfield phones be washing up on the beaches of France? I could see Italy because,
Good question.
lasagna. But France...
Garfield does love his lasagna in those cartoons.
I don't think he'd swim all the way to France to get some escargot.
Well, it's been a 30-year mystery, but it's finally been solved. So, there's a beach cleanup organization that kept finding the Garfield-shaped phones in bright orange bits of plastic. And an old local farmer came up to them one day and gave them a clue as to why. And that would solve the riddle that we've all been wanting to know. Well, they've been all wanting to know. I've never heard of it until a few days ago when I read up on it. But yeah, for the last 30 years, the Brittany coast in France has been a home to, a unique phenomenon. The oceans are polluted and, there's rubbish and debris all the time that, comes out. But this one is different. It's bizarre because it's one item. And I can't get over that it's the Garfield telephones that are the one thing that's polluting the beach.
I would feel like someone was pulling a prank on me if every week I went to the beach to go clean up and there were more Garfield phones.
Oh, I know. Some jerk in the town.
I would think, whoever's helping me is, like, instead of taking the bags of garbage to the dump, he's just like, man, screw it. Toss it back out onto the beach.
Yeah. And that's been plaguing them since the 1980s.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I've seen... What's the weirdest thing I've seen at the beach? You know what? I have not seen anything weird at the beach. But if I constantly saw Garfield heads or telephones, I would surely think I was going nuts.
Well, cats hate the water, so why would they be at the beach?
I have friends who tell me their memories of when they were little kids, and, they were already finding telephones, said the lady that talked to the farmer.
Mm.
It's something like that. I'm paraphrasing.
Mm.
But she said, that's what she said to the farmer, and he knew the clue.
So where did they come from? Was it like someone had buried them there, or like is there like a container full of Garfield phones off the coast?
Well, the phones they were all, this is another thing. They were all in rather good condition. So despite the decades-long existence in the ocean, the lines and stripes forming Garfield's cartoonish face still pop. And some of these phones still have their internal wiring and electronics in place.
So you mean I can go get free vintage Garfield phones?
And put them back together, yes. And get them fixed, yes. You can. Check out the thumbnail for the vintage advertisement for the phone. We'll put a picture in there. Or somewhere in here. But anyways, so this was supposed to be a fun phone. It was marketed as an alternative to standard receivers.
Yeah,
all the way back to 1978.
I believe I remember... I think my cousin had an old Garfield phone.
I had a friend that had a Garfield phone too. I'm jealous. Because we had a plain phone. Well, we didn't have a plain phone. We had a cordless phone, but to me it was plain because the Garfield phone when I was a little kid was just cool.
Yeah, and my mom had one of those Felix clocks with the tail that would hang down, but it didn't come with the tail. And those clocks don't work without the tail.
Oh, they don't?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
And back in the 90s, you couldn't just, go on eBay or buy a tail. You would have had to have bought an entirely new clock, which we weren't going to do. So my mom made a tail out of cardboard
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, and put it on the clock.
Your mom's crafty. I like that. I remember the Garfield's cat's eyes opened when the receiver was picked up, and they shut when the phone was put down. So it was kind of cool.
Where did they come from? Tell me. I'm dying here.
Well, rumors about the origins of the garbage were swirling a few years ago when there was mention of a sunken container ship. That entered the conversation, so that seemed very plausible to me.
Yeah.
At that point, when I was reading about the story, as legend had it, the phone started washing up after a shipping container went overboard in the 1980s, no less. So around the same time. So it was only a few months ago, decades later, that the French news publication France, I think they just call it France. They ran info on the story.
I would say that that's an odd name for a publication, but we do have USA Today. We have New York Times.
Yeah, we do.
The New Yorker, and news organizations don't get really creative with their names.
Yeah, the farmer came forward and he told the woman and her group that would remove trash. She was removing a number of beach dolphins from the coast near where the man lived, where his land was. And he told her he knew where the phones were coming from and that he could show her. And she was like, I didn't really understand. She said, because I was thinking the container was underwater and this gentleman didn't look like a diver, she had said. So I think she didn't believe him at first. But he guaranteed her that he knew where it was. So, of course, curiosity killed the cat. Yeah. So him and his brother, they decided to go investigate the debris' origin. And they found the wreckage of a shipping container wedged into the cliffs of a nearby sea cave. Yeah. And the container was submerged most of the time. But during the low tides, it revealed itself.
Ooh.
During low tides.
And it's full of Garfield clocks?
So maybe the worse off ones... Well, yeah. Yeah.
I wonder if there's any, intact ones in the box still.
I wonder. Well, she found a slew of Garfield phones and pieces of plastic, as well as televisions and a sizable shipment of red wood. I didn't know they mixed so many things into their containers. I figured it would be all curiosities or all one type of thing or something for Target or I'm not sure what, but I didn't think that red wood would be in the same container as TVs and Garfield phones. That was a surprise to me. That might sound dumb, but that was.
Well, I guess it really depends on what the shipping company that's being paid to ship the stuff, who all's, Now, is it going to France or was it coming from France?
It didn't indicate, but
because if it's going to France, I know that the United States has a lot of redwood trees.
Oh no, I do know. Now I remember. Yes, it was coming from Tyco. It was coming from the USA.
Okay.
Because Tyco Toys owned it, and they had said that.
That must have been back when we still made stuff here.
Yeah. Yeah, so they once the bad weather subsided, they were able to go in there. The volunteers entered the cave, and on March 22nd. And they found pieces of metal and the container, and lots of fragments of telephone. So they knew they had hit the right spot. So, I mean, think about it. The group found hundreds of pieces and dozens of handsets with intact buttons and visible numbers.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm glad that mystery has been solved.
Yeah, even though it's concluded, it's still a really strange one.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Also, they hatched a new theory that there was a second container nearby. Unfortunately, we don't have proof of that second container. But
Well, if a container ship had sunk in the area, then there's a lot of containers in the ocean over there.
yeah, they say in 400 years the plastic will degrade. So
Well, the saltwater should probably do a pretty good job of doing that.
well, they say that pieces of plastic will be present in small quantities everywhere, in the water, in the air, and in the sand.
Well,
So they are really careful. They really want to clean that up.
yeah.
So that's good on them. I've volunteered to clean up at the beach before when I was younger. And it's a good thing to do.
Yeah.
And it's a nice view. And you usually hang out with pretty cool, nice people.
Well, talking about having, that much plastic, on the beach, there is what they call Trash Island in the middle of the Pacific. That's the size of Texas.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of trash and plastic floating there in the ocean.
Hey, did you know that it's estimated that 1,500 to 15,000 containers are lost at sea each year?
Each year?
Yeah, and they
Holy
pollute
cow.
the oceans because they're not diving down to get
They're
them.
just falling off the container ships?
Yeah. Anywhere from 1,500 to 15,000.
Wow.
So
You would
it's
think
just
that
not
they would
plastic
start-
that we have to worry about. And, it gets consumed by mammals, and, the garbage often consists of toxic chemicals, the group said. It's a cleanup group, young people. And, yeah. Glad the mystery was solved, because if I lived there and saw that all the time, I would surely think I was going crazy or some. I would have to have somebody else with me to verify every time that, yeah, you're seeing another Garfield phone.
Yeah.
Yep. What do you think we're going to see at the beach on Saturday, John? Some
Probably a Garfield
pelicans?
phone.
Damn. Another one?
Yep, another one.
Well, I'm glad they found it and they're cleaning it up. Good on them.
Yeah.
So that's that mystery solved. 30-year mystery.
Yeah. Comment below on what the craziest thing you found at the beach is.
Yeah, because I only find, like plastic bottles or the plastic things that soda, that you take the can of soda out of. Stuff like that.
I've watched the videos of the crazy old
And
guys.
bags, of course.
The crazy old guys who go down to the beach with the metal detectors and they find, like, rings and phones and all sorts of stuff.
No, they're not crazy because they find all that stuff.
Well, they're crazy because they spend months and months and months just looking, and
yes, but
then they'll find something every once in a while.
When they find a gem, it's totally worth it to them. Hey, you love your video games. They love their metal detecting.
True.
Some people call video gamers crazy. We all have our hobbies.
Yeah.
But yeah, comment below. What's your favorite hobby? What's the weirdest thing you've ever found at the beach? And have you heard of the story?
Yeah. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And dislike if you dislike the video. But remember, if you dislike the video, I'm going to scatter Garfield phones all over your front yard every week until you fall into madness and think, where are all these Garfield phones coming from? It was me because you disliked my video. Have a great day, everybody.
Yep. Bye. Peace.